Hi guys, it's Courtney back from Wonder in English. Today I'm going to give you guys 9 resources for learning and practicing your English online and maybe even in person. So let's get started. So the very first resource I wanted to mention was my own, which is a podcast. And there are tons of other podcasts out there, but mine is particularly good because I give you the transcript and define all of the important vocabulary for you guys on my website. So as you listen to the podcast, you can read what we're saying, and then in bold, you'll see difficult and advanced vocabulary that you can scroll down to the bottom and see the definition for. So it's a really great way to practice your listening skills. Anytime you're working with the language, the very best way to enhance your ability in that language is to receive more input. That means more reading and more listening. If you want to get better at writing, you have to read more. If you want to get better at speaking, you have to listen more. This is the way that your brain collects the data of that language and can sort through and find the native and natural words. So what your brain does is it listens for words and then it starts to count up the frequency of those words. So if you start to listen to a lot of native speakers speak, you're going to automatically know the natural word to use in those situations. So listen more and read more. The second recommendation is one that I just found out about, and it will save you a ton of money, and it's called LIBBY. I'm not entirely sure which countries LIBBY is available in, but it works here in the US and I know that it works in Australia. So LIBBY is an app that basically allows you to access books online completely for free at your local library. All you have to do is get a library card, then you can go on the LIBBY app and check out the book and read it. This is a wonderful, wonderful way to practice. The more you read, the better you will get at writing, and the easier it will be for you guys to understand the language, see more grammar structures, learn more vocabulary, learn how to spell correctly. I cannot recommend it enough. Read more in English and use the LIBBY app to do it. The third recommendation is to help integrate these skills. So you can listen as much as you want and read as much as you want, but in the end, you do need to practice with somebody. The best way to do that is to have another person. What about a pen pal? So in English, we call someone a pen pal when you write them, and normally you live in different countries. Well, we have this online on a website called Interpals, interpals.net. I'm going to leave the link here on the screen and below. So Interpals is great because there are people from all over the world who are trying to practice a variety of languages. So maybe you can meet up with somebody who speaks English, like an American like me, and somebody who wants to learn Portuguese, for example. So I signed up on the site. I speak English natively, but I want to learn Brazilian Portuguese. So I'm going to select that as the language I want to learn. Then people can contact me and I can respond, and we can write to each other back and forth. We can also decide to meet on Zoom and become friends, so that way we can talk and have conversations and both practice our first languages. It's a really, really great way to practice English and to make friends. I did this when I was living in Spain. I went to a local intercambio, which is an exchange, a language exchange at a bar. So that's where I met some of my friends. They came to speak and practice English, and I went there to practice my Spanish. And it was a really great thing, and you guys can do this all online. My fourth recommendation is to meet up in person. So meetup.com is a website that has different groups of people that need friends, or they need more of a social life, or they're just a little bit bored, or they have a particular interest in something, and they go and decide to meet up in a group of people with like-minded interests. So what you can do on the Meetup app or the Meetup website is to sign up and go to one of the ESL meetups. So English as a second language meetups. where you can meet a bunch of other people who are there to practice their English and talk with them one-on-one. So this is a really great way to make friends and to practice your English in person. My fifth recommendation is to go back online onto Facebook groups. So I have a Facebook page for my Wonder in English website, and on there I post weekly idioms and lessons like this video lesson or my podcast episodes, and people can talk there as much as they want. You can also use other Facebook groups like Learn English Online. There are other groups where people decide to chat and meet in person, and I think that can be really helpful, like a pen pal but on Facebook. My sixth recommendation are Pearson graded readers. So if you want to read with a little bit of assistance, then I recommend picking up an advanced graded reader. Graded readers are typically used at beginning levels of learning a language. So they help you read because they define difficult vocabulary for you. However, they also have advanced graded readers, and these are so helpful. One of the biggest complaints my students say is that they don't want to go in and define every single word that they see. I get it. I've been there. I don't have the time to define all those vocabulary words. So what they do is they take normal novels that we use at American high schools. Super interesting books. I checked out their website and I like everything that they're recommending and that they're putting out there. And then you can read the book and click on a word if you have trouble understanding it. The word is defined, it's given an example, and it's a really wonderful resource in order to read something and not have to keep looking up more information. My seventh recommendation is Audible. Audible is a company that is used through Amazon, and basically they are an audiobook company. So you pay a monthly price and then you can get 3 credits or 3 books. I love to use Audible. I listen to it all the time when I'm doing stuff, cleaning the house, walking the dog, on a commute in the car. It's just a really useful tool to constantly be listening to something in English. And it's really wonderful because you're also being told a story, and you don't normally have to listen to everything that they're saying in order to grasp the concept. Because sometimes when we're listening to audiobooks, we're doing other things at the same time. The great thing about a book is that it's really long. So if you miss a sentence or if you miss a minute or two, that's okay. You're not going to miss the whole point of the story. My last recommendation is to watch YouTube and movies with subtitles. I know a lot of people do this already, but I can't recommend it enough. The more that you watch normal content, everyday things happening with subtitles, the easier it will be to pick up on things. So those are all my recommendations. I hope that they were helpful for you guys. If so, leave a comment below about which ones you're going to use or like. If you have a recommendation, please leave a comment below because that would really help everybody in the Wonder in English community. Thanks so much, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next week. Bye.